All right, so welcome to the deep dive. This time you guys sent in something pretty unique, huh? A raw diary entry. And it's not just any diary entry. This one is from someone at a real turning point in their life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely a really interesting one.
It's October 3rd, their third day of unemployment. And we're going to kind of dive into their world, I guess,
Yeah,
see how they're feeling, what they're thinking, and what they're doing with this new chapter.
exactly. We get a glimpse into their mindset. It's like we're right there with them as they figure out this new reality.
So right off the bat, on day 3, they're tackling those practical things like clearing out the yard, fixing that drain cover. Maybe not the most exciting stuff, but it shows they're not just sitting around moping. What do you think? Is that a typical response to losing a job?
Yeah, it can be. For some people, staying busy and active is a way to cope, you know? Keep a sense of control when everything else feels uncertain.
Makes sense. But they're not just doing chores, are they? They decide to download ZBrush. So for those who maybe aren't familiar with it, can you give us a quick rundown of what ZBrush is all about and what this choice might tell us about our diarist?
Well, ZBrush is kind of like the industry standard for 3D sculpting. It's this powerful software that artists use to create these super detailed 3D models for video games, movies, you name it.
So it's not just some hobbyist thing.
Oh, no, no, no. It's the real deal. And that says a lot about the diarist. Choosing ZBrush shows they're serious about art. It's not a simple program to learn. There's a definite learning curve. So it tells us they're willing to put in the time and effort to learn this new skill.
It's definitely ambitious.
Yeah.
But it makes me wonder, is it the best choice for someone who's just starting out? I mean, there are other 3D modeling programs out there that are maybe a bit more beginner-friendly. Could this be a case of trying to run before they can walk?
Yeah, that's a valid point. I mean, ZBrush is powerful, but it can be overwhelming, especially for beginners. Starting with a more user-friendly program like Blender might be a better approach. Learn the basics without getting bogged down by all the complexity of ZBrush.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And along with all this, the chores and the 3D modeling, they're also sticking to a routine,
Mm.
like actually setting an alarm, structuring their day. It's like they still have a job to go to. Is that something
Yeah.
you see often? I feel like a lot of us would be tempted to just sleep in and kind of take it easy for a bit after losing a job.
I mean, I get it. That temptation is definitely there. But honestly, sticking to a routine can be super beneficial, especially during a big life change like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it provides structure. It helps combat those feelings of aimlessness and can even boost your mood. Seems like our diarist understands that keeping a sense of normalcy is important for navigating this transition.
It's funny how sometimes the simple things, like just getting up at a regular time, can make a big difference. So on top of everything else, they're also making an effort to improve their English. They even mention using their diary as a practice tool and incorporating AI for translations. Pretty dedicated.
And it's smart. It's like a two birds, one stone kind of thing.
They're working on their English, which is useful in general, and it could actually help them with their 3D modeling goals too.
How so?
Well, think about it. A lot of the resources, online communities, even potential clients, if they're thinking about freelancing, a lot of that stuff is in English.
Oh, right.
So yeah, improving their English could open doors for them in the art world.
They definitely seem to be thinking long term. And speaking of the future, the diarist mentions money too. They're actually quite optimistic about the possibility of earning an income outside of a traditional job. What do you make of that? It's definitely reflective of how work is evolving these days. The 9 to 5 grind isn't the only option anymore. There's freelancing, the gig economy, this whole creator economy thing. So many new possibilities are opening up for people who want to monetize their skills and passions, often online.
It really is a whole new world. For those who haven't heard that term creator economy, it's basically people making a living by creating and sharing content online. It could be anything from YouTube videos and online courses to digital art and music, anything, really.
Absolutely. And it's empowering, right? People are becoming their own bosses, setting their own hours, having more control over their careers. It's a huge shift.
And it seems like our diarist is totally tuned into that. One more thing that really jumped out at me was their comment about age. It wasn't framed as a limitation, but more like a motivator. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, we often think of age as this barrier, but it can also be a driving force.
How so?
Well, with age comes experience, perspective, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. It sounds like the diarist is using their age as fuel, a reminder that they don't want to waste time.
There's definitely a sense of urgency there. It's pretty inspiring. So as we wrap up, what struck you most about this particular deep dive?
I think it's that blend of practicality and ambition that really stands out. They're grounding themselves with everyday tasks like those chores, but at the same time, they're reaching for something bigger, something creative and fulfilling. It's a really powerful combination.
It really is. And it makes me think about all the different ways people navigate change. So as we end this deep dive, I'm curious, what steps have you taken to pursue your own passions or make a change in your life? We'd love to hear from you.